All right, here's a rundown of the kayak fishing trip we took today at Lake Lavon. We started out this morning at Livonia South, launched at the free boat ramp right over here, and started working this area just off the boat ramp and headed to the dam, which is heading down this area here on the south. And then we just followed the dam face until we got to the actual dam itself right here. In between that one leg, ended up getting like a couple of hits. And then we ended up getting another one right here as we were working around the dam area, getting some pictures as well as doing some trolling and whatnot. And then we worked our way back and at some point decided to go ahead and head to another part of the lake instead of going back to the boat ramp directly. So we just continued on this path and started working right here, which is just offshore from the Livonia park. This is the park area here. And so we just started working here and then decided to go ahead and fish just underneath the railroad bridge and start working that area. That's where we're getting these little bass and whatnot, as well as some white bass. And then at some point we headed back to the boat ramp, heading south with the park to our east, and started working here. And along this section here, we started picking up some good hits on little white bass. They weren't keeper size, but we're getting some consistent hits there. And then started working off the point over here and started getting a bunch of these little bass and whatnot also. Not keeper size, but still good time catching some fish. And bottom line, today's trip was mainly just to get a good workout in, as well as catch a few fish here and there, and that's what we ended up doing. From what Google says, this was a 6-mile trip. However, we didn't count the times that we were going back and forth trolling over some spots, so we suspect it's more than 6 miles. That said, it was a good day out there. So do check out the rest of the video and see some of the action from today's trip. Alright, so let's start out the trip with our first hit. This is just right off the boat ramp as we're launching, heading to the dam face. We get a hit, and of course he drops off. It was a little bass. Here's where we're just off the first part of the leg. We're going to follow the dam and head to the actual dam itself. And here's the next hit that we're going to get while we're en route. This is going to be another little one that's a white bass. There's a view of where we're starting from and where we're going to, or where we started from and where we're going to. Another view of where we're trying to get to that dam. Now we're there, or at least a little bit closer. Edging just a little bit closer, and while we're there, you got that other hit, another little white bass. There's a view of we're there at the dam. So good stuff. Another view of the dam, and just it's the first time ever making it this far. Normally we just kind of hang around the shore area off the different parks, and this time we decided let's get a good workout today. So we did, and there's one of the white bass hitting before we start making our next leg. Here we go. Got a good ways to go. This is where we're going to start heading back to Livonia Park. This is where we're just off of Livonia Park now. We're still off Livonia Park and trying to decide, should we continue on to the railroad tracks? And yes, we do. But before we get there, we get another hit. This is another white bass. And now we're over there by the railroad tracks. And while we're here checking things out, notice that looks like a pretty good area to give it a shot at some trolling. So we're going to go ahead and do some kayak fish trolling. And we get a little bass decides to take on our rig. And then we had a double, but this one came off, so we ended up only with one. And we kept at it. Got another one to hit. And that just stayed pretty consistent as we were going back and forth under the railroad tracks, or the railroad bridge. And pretty much had a good time at it. One good thing was we were out of the wind, so it wasn't near as hard at paddling. Here's a double that we ended up getting in this case. Get multiple doubles this round with bass as well as white bass. So we're here just off the Lavonia Park. And we're catching these guys just pretty much trolling back and forth or drifting in the wind and hooking up with these guys and resetting our rig and whatnot, and getting these consistent hits off white bass as well as a few largemouth bass that were mixed in there. Nothing big again, no keepers, but mainly wanted to check out the lake, get a good workout in, as well as hook a few fish, and ended up hooking a few fish. So here's a double on white bass, and then here's I believe these are two bass. So now we're just working off of one of the points just near the boat ramp as well as Lavonia Park. And you can see we're getting doubles. In this case, we switched from a crappie jig to crappie jig as well as a clouser minnow. That said, it's a fun day. Till next time, we'll catch y'all later, and good luck and good fishing.